Hey, Ron's Bass Lessons here, back with a great song by Foreigner, Double Vision. I believe it's in the key of, it was in the key of D. I guess you could argue it's in the key of A, but in any case, it has a lot of D and A in it. It's pretty regular in the structure. There's a little anomaly at the end of the second verse where they have a phrase that they only repeat once at the end of the first, and then they repeat it twice at the end of the second, so that's something to look out for. And then they fit that phrase in again after, on the 8th time, right before the outro, they fit that same phrase in again, but this time it's a single phrase. So the phrase that they're doing, it's like that. It starts on the C, and then I'm hitting the open D, and then back to the C. And then it's chromatic here from 2, 1, 3, which is E, E flat, C. So it's slowly. Alright. And as always, I'll tab the song so you can just email me. I'll send you the tab that I made. But that phrase that's the biggest anomaly in the song and the way they use it. So the first time they use it, it's only once, so it goes. And then the second time they use it, at the end of that second verse, it's. So they repeat the last 4 notes of it. Okay, so it's a 7-note phrase, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so they repeat the last sequence of it. So again, slow on the repeat. It's. Alright, so if you're aware of that, then all the other parts are going to be in the same places, and they're basically going to repeat. So the intro, which is also sort of the, I guess it's also the verse. It's just kind of pumping on A, and then chromatic back up to A from G, with the open E involved, at least to my taste. Now I've seen some suggestions of like that, going E chromatically back to D, but to my ear I don't think it matters, and I've discovered that different people, when they tab stuff, sometimes they just put stuff in that they like, which is fine, but I don't think it's necessary. But anyway, just to make you aware that I did see that suggested someplace. So anyway, so that's your basic phrase. So it's just A, open, E, G, G sharp, A. So you're just on 3, 4, and 5. And then at the end of that phrase, right before the chorus, it resolves on D before it goes into the double vision thing. So what I do is A, C, A, D. Alright, and then the double vision part is. That's the basic phrase, and then it goes up the neck to accomplish kind of similar chord structures, but in a different register. So I think key to the song is the sort of walking transitions. So you got the basic. It's just D and C here on 5 and 3, and then it works up to E. And just listen to the phrasing, because the phrasing in all of the parts in this song is very similar. They keep repeating phrasing a lot because of the way the song's structured. So it's C. So C, D, D, E, E, D, C. So you're on 3, 5, and 7. And then it goes up to the A and G. Now, what I was talking about with the little walkie stuff, so, and that's a very common phrase in this song, used in with different note combinations, but similar but different, if that makes sense. So you're basically walking back up to that D. G, open A, B, C. You're on 3, 2, and 3. So for the first half of the chorus, you're doing that exact phrase, repeating that same phrase twice. And then to get to the second half of the chorus, you're gonna work your way up. You're gonna end up down here on the 10th fret, and your note is going to be F. Basically, your octave of F is going to be the key here. You're going to an F chord, so it's same. Now, that's one other thing they do differently. They do the transition differently, the first and the second verse, to get to that part. So the first time they do the same transition that they were doing. Okay, so that's what we just did. G, A, B, C. Alright, so you're basically coming up to an F chord. You're briefly hitting the C here on this 8th fret. Then you're spelling out a D power chord. And then you're going back, I guess, to F, and you're also hitting C, which I guess is the two notes in that F power chord. So I guess if I was to interpret it, I'd say you're going F, C, D, and then back to F. So the whole phrase of that part before it goes to that phrase I showed you at the beginning, you're going to do that at the end of this. So it's and then that phrase, and then it goes right back into what would be the intro, like you started the song. Okay, so that whole phrase broken down, like I said, it's this little walking thing, and then you're on 10th fret, bottom 2 strings. All right, and then you're hitting 3 bumps on the C on the 8th fret, and that's going to transition you to the D. So it's so you notice you're hitting that F C combination here 2 different times in 2 different ways. Alright, and then D. All you're doing there is stating the 3 notes of the D triad. And then you're hitting these bottom 2 notes on the 7th fret again. So you're basically hitting, this would be A, D here on the 7th fret, and then you're hitting F, C. So let me, before we get too far along, let me catch back up on the phrase. And then you're going to state that D one more time, and then do that phrase that I showed you at the beginning. And then you're going back to the intro for the second verse. Okay, so you're basically going to repeat, second verse, you're going to basically repeat from that point forward what you just did on the first verse at the beginning. And then after you get past the verse and you go back into the first chorus, that's where a slight change happens again. So when you start the chorus, and this is where they change it. They go, and you're going to see that phrase again in the outro. So it's, again, it sounds very similar to the other phrases, but it's open A, B on the second fret, C on the third fret, and then the E here on the next string down. So, okay? So, because before you did, so now you're going. And if you were to repeat the same phrase, I mean, probably most people wouldn't even notice, but I'm just telling you that they do change it. That's a foreigner thing. I've seen them doing it in other songs. So again, you get to that point, you're going, and then you're going back into that. And now at the end of that one, this is what I told you they change it. This is when they do the repetition. They go. So they do that twice. And then it goes back into that intro again, just like you did on the first verse. And you're at the end of the second verse, and you're between the second chorus and the outro. So you're going to do this basically 8 times, but on the 8th time you're going to repeat that phrase that we just did. So it's going to be like, you're going to count 7 of these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right? And then you're going to go into the outro chorus, which is, the pattern on that is you're going to do the chorus you're used to 3 times, and then you're going to do the chorus on the 4th time. You're going to do that new phrase I just showed you. All right, and on the outro, the pattern is 4, and then it's 2, 2 until they fade. So I'll show you. So you're going to go. You're going to do this 4 times, and watch on the 4th time. Second time. Third time. And now on that 4th time, you're going to come right back in and keep playing the chorus. But this time, every other time. From now on, every other time, you're going to do that phrase I just showed you. So this will be the 5th and the 6th time, which will then repeat indefinitely, and because they faded. So. That's the first of the pair. And that pattern just repeats and repeats. So that's all the parts. As always, I've done a cover of it, and I'll have the tab available, so if you need it, just email me. And a great song, man. It's one of my favorite foreigner songs, so hope you enjoy it. And as always, if you like what I'm doing, by all means, please like and subscribe and spread the word. I'll see you at the next one. Thank you very much.